Right, please welcome everyone to this next webinar with Great Wine Capitals. I'm Mark Checkley. I'm based in Lausanne, but from New Zealand. I'm a wine storyteller, wine specialist, and branding consultant. And it's really wonderful today to be hosting this very exciting webinar. Please, in the chat, say where you're coming in from, where specifically are you tuning in? And we're going to, of course, introduce our panelists as we come through. Just before we start proper, we're going to have some presentations, but we really want this to be an active discussion day, an active discussion session, I should say. And so if you do have any specific questions for our speakers, put it into the Q&A. And then if you have also some more overall questions or topics to discuss or bring up, we'll get to those at the latter part of the session today. So we hear a lot about AI, its benefits, and it's almost a daily thing we're hearing, the buzzword of the ages, you could say. And we hear a lot about what it can do, but less about what it is doing. And today we are discovering and discussing its use and opportunities in the wine tourism space. So to bring their insights, energy, and anecdotes, I have with me Marianna Sigala, who is Professor of Marketing and Director of the International Hotel School at the University of Newcastle in Australia, but tuning in from Cyprus today. Hi, Marianna.
Hello, pleasure to be with all of you.
Thank you. Then we've also got Paulo Medina, who is Director of Wine Tourism of Sogrape in Portugal. Very good early morning to you, Paulo.
Thank you, Mark. A very good morning, afternoon, and evening for everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you. And last but not least is Adela Pereira, founder of Alvar Wine Tourism Accelerator. So we're going to go through different topics today, different discussions. Like I said, put your questions into the Q&A. You can tell us where you are from in the chat. And if you're having any issues with the feed, you can put that into the chat. I'm with Arena, and Arena will keep an eye on all of this as we power on through and discuss a lot of topics. So first of all, Marianna, I'm going to open the floor to you and your presentation, and we'll see if you have any questions or we can move them over to the latter part of the session. Over to you, Marianna.
Thank you very much, Mark. And first of all, thank you for the network, for the invitation to join you in this very interesting and very topical, I think, webinar. I do specialize in technologies and tourism. I think that's why I was invited. It is a huge topic in terms of what is smart tourism or smart wine tourism and what AI is doing, but I will try to cover the major ideas or applications, and hopefully through the discussion we can reveal and identify other issues that they're really very important. So very, very quickly, what I would like to share with you as inspiration for a discussion is, first of all, who is the smart wine tourist? Wine in inverted commas, because the wine tourist is primarily a tourist and then interested in wine, sometimes, not always. What does it mean to be a smart wine tourism business, and what are the major applications? So I'm going to discuss things from both perspectives, the demand and the supply. And hopefully through the discussion, we will see what does this really mean for your business and what are the next steps. So very quickly, let's have a look on who's the smart wine tourist, because tourists have become very sophisticated, and we really need to understand where they're coming from and what they expect. So let me share a quick video with you, because I think, and it will help you understand, as I said, who are these tourists. We have heard, as you know, people using mobile guides to get directions, ideas, interpretation. Now, these guides, they of course have embedded AI that is multimodal. It means it understands vision, it understands or creates video, and it talks to you like a human. So let's see what the tourists are doing.
These sunglasses from Ray-Ban and Meta can now answer questions about what I'm seeing, which is wild. So I took them around New York City to see what they can do.
Hey, Meta, look and tell me, what's the history of that monument?
It was built to commemorate the centennial of George Washington's inauguration as president.
Hey, Meta, look and tell me which of these fruits would make a good smoothie.
Oranges, apples, and kiwis. These fruits would make a delicious smoothie when blended together.
Hey, Meta, look and tell me, what church is that?
The name of this building is Washington Square Methodist Episcopal Church.
This is so wild. They're doing all of this with Meta AI. When I say look, it's taking a picture, analyzing it, and then using a large language model to give me an answer.
When it's recording, the light's on right here, which means I can get shots like this.
And photos like this. I really like this one. Like, look at this. I'm recording without using my hands. It's all coming from right here. And it can even use AI to make my shots better. And one of the newest updates is that I could video call someone to show them what I'm seeing. For me, what's really exciting about these isn't just that they let us film and capture our lives in a new way. It's that they let us ask questions and be more curious and get answers and interact with things. And it's fun. That's what I like the best. If you like optimistic science and tech stories, follow for more.
So yeah, that's what people are doing. They're talking to their glasses. Of course, Ray-Ban and Facebook and Meta, it's not the only provider. The cost is very small, $500. I don't know if you've seen people going around, and they have an assistant on a continuous 24 hours basis. Imagine tourists go around in vineyards saying, what are these grapes? I have this bottle of wine. What can I eat? What can I visit? It's the same thing. And people, at least from my experience, they're even becoming really very sophisticated. I don't know if you have seen applications like the wine listening. People that they use Spotify, they can open it up, scan a wine label, and they will be proposed which song that they like matches their wine. So they can customize and personalize the experience they have. Do people really use it? I think they do, because I think the wineries, they have responded to that. Number one, 5-star rating experience in McLaren Vale. It's the experience that they call it the Sensory Odyssey by Chuck Hill Wines, that they basically pair wine and music. They innovated. It's not just food and wine, cheese and wine, what everybody's doing. They go you through a curation of how can you experience the same wine in a different way through different music. And it's a good way to entertain people, but also to educate them about what is the wine and what is the brand meaning of the labels that they sell. So people, they do use technologies in a very smart, sophisticated way during the whole journey, to plan before they arrive, to get inspiration, to make bookings on the site, to enhance their experience, to get a better interpretation and meaning, even to connect with people that are not present with them and share what they see. And of course, afterwards, to build their loyalty and engagement and get future inspirations. Usually we say that the smart tourism experience, it classifies into 3 major applications. How you use the technology to enhance the tourism experience with different interpretation, curation, guides. How you enable the people to travel to your destination and within your destination, particularly in wine regions. This is very, very important, because somebody will not come only to one winery and they would like to see many other things around. And of course, what AI applications you do to facilitate a seamless booking process through many different channels, because people now, they will use the social media, they will use the email, they will use the website. Companies will need to integrate them. And of course, when you have so many inquiries from different channels, you need technology to support you to manage them in an efficient way from day one until the customer arrives, until he leaves. So what about the wineries? Major applications that wineries now are using AI. And again, the smart wineries or wine businesses, they will use them to facilitate the customer journey before, during, and after the experience as well. First of all, you really need to get to know your competitors. You don't need sophisticated AI. This is a screenshot. I just went to Copilot. I use it a lot. I said, I'm a tourist. I'm in Santorini. Please summarize me the wineries there. Give me their TripAdvisor rating. You see them here. And give me a table with a summary of their experience, how I will feel, and how much it cost. Press the button. In less than a second, I have the table. I don't use websites anymore to search. I don't use even a guide, isn't it? I don't visit the websites of the wineries. And of course, the tourist can do it, but you as a winery can also do it to save time to do competitive spying. If you want to create a social media campaign and you need to know what your competitor is offering, to provide something better, you don't have to spend hours. You need to use the tools. And as I said, they don't need to be sophisticated. If you do have the money to use the sophisticated and paid AI, you can do it. But the point is to use the free AI in inverted commas that's available as well. So many wineries indeed, and many tourist businesses, they do use AI now to do customer intelligence, marketing research, to create content, to analyze data. You can put Excel spreadsheets and get insights and get suggestions, even to create video and content. So very, very quickly, less than hopefully half a second, I'll show you another advertisement that it was created fully by AI within 2 seconds. And that was from the destination of Denmark.
Hello there, dear tourists. While I appreciate the attention, let's be honest. Standing in line for hours just to see me is not exactly the most exciting way to spend your holiday.
Trust me, I've been hanging here for centuries and I've seen it all.
The pushing, the shoving, it's not pretty.
As Vincent van Gogh, I might say, don't just go to see my paintings, go to Denmark.
There, you can skip the crowds and enjoy the simple pleasures of life.
Like biking through charming towns.
Exploring picturesque coastlines.
And let's not forget about Denmark's legendary food scene.
Wow!
That's the true joy of travel.
The unexpected surprises and adventures that come from stepping off the beaten path.
That being said, I do hope to see you back soon. I do get lonely in this museum, you know.
So yeah, you can spend hours and you can pay video cameraman, you can pay actress, you can pay farm trips for people to come to your destination, millions of dollars. Then you can't do the shooting, you wait the next day, and then you repeat the whole process to make it in Chinese, in Portuguese, in German. Good luck to you. That took 5 minutes. You just said to the AI, I want you to create me a video to persuade people to avoid crowded destinations and come to mine. Press the button, the AI came with the creative, the script, and the video. Now, as you understand, it's not only about replacing humans. The humans are always there. Yeah, you provide the ideas, you check everything, you use the technology, or you need to use the technology to make you more clever and more efficient in terms of what things you want to do. As I said, you can use free tools. Depending on your destination, your DMO probably might providing you free AI access. So if you're based in Greece, if you can go to the Marketing Greece Association on their website, there are AI tools that you can use for free to analyze social media content, to get suggestions how to reply to reviews, to create banners, to create social media campaigns, saving time, but not only saving time, creating content that it can be more appealing and personalized to the market data that you have. That's very, very important. And very quickly, other ways that wineries are using now AI, you can use AI as a digital sommelier to entertain people or to guide them into their experience. No commercial, just one example of the thousands that they exist. Nu Vivo, for example, AI. You can upload your wine list. It will create a curation, how to present it to them. You can edit it, you can augment it. The customers, they don't have to download the mobile app. They will just scan the QR code with their mobile. They will have Hugo, an AI assistant, to ask them questions. What type of wines you like? How do you want to feel? What do you feel eating today? Press the button. The Hugo AI will come up with suggestions from your inventory, what wines you have, what menu items you can combine. The waiter can come, enhance this interaction with the human touch and make it more personalized, but you have saved a lot of time in terms of serving the customer and making him feel more important. Now, applications like this, they're also important because whatever the customer does online or through technology, he or leaves a digital footprint. Now, this digital footprint, the data that you can gather, are again recycled and used to improve your marketing campaigns, your CRM campaigns, your social media campaigns, which is very, very important. Because unless if you have the data, you can't improve your business. There are AI platforms now to enable you to handle multiple requests that you get through many channels. Because I'm sure as a business, you've got an email, you've got a website, you've got social media profiles. People are asking you from everywhere. Do you need or to have one person 24 hours replying to that and monitoring it? Probably yes, but you can do it in a much more efficient way when you have an AI tool to guide the customer through all the channels, identify the customer, and make it seamless, irrespective of what channel he or she uses it, and then collect the data again to do CRM campaigns and personalized campaigns in many different ways. So yeah, there are tools. The WineSpot AI, it's one of them. Again, no commercial. If you go online, you can find many tools like this to help you to do it. So what does it mean to be a smart wine tourism business? As I mentioned, use it to facilitate the customer journey or the things that you need to do before the customer arrives to help him or her to be inspired, to plan the trip, make bookings. During the experience, to have a digital assistance, curation, interpretation, and after the visit, to keep a personal touch and engagement with him or her, or even manage your wine club members in a more personalized and efficient way. Thank you very much. I'll stop here because probably my time is over already.
Thank you, Marianna. No, some very interesting observations there. Just to mention, the chat isn't working during the session, unfortunately, just because of the way it's structured. But please use the Q&A to ask any questions. We'll come back to you, Marianna, of course. I think there's some really interesting topics there to discuss further. But now I want to move over to Porto, to the Douro Valley, and coming in live as Paulo from Sogrape. I'm so happy to see you, Paulo.
Hi, Mark. Happy to see you too. Likewise. So, I'm really happy to be present here in this webinar, although it's quite early in Portugal. It's not that early, but okay. Yesterday was like a national holiday. It was Portugal's day, so we are restarting the week, I would say. So just I have a couple of slides just to share what Sogrape is being doing and what is about to come. But first of all, I would like just to give some words on what Sogrape is and how is organized also the wine tourism. So Sogrape is a family-owned company. Is owned by a Portuguese family, was founded by the grandfather of the current CEO of the company, Mr. Fernando van Zeller Guedes, in 1942 with Matthews Rosé. I believe that everyone heard about it already. And today Sogrape is present as a wine producer in 5 different origins, also in New Zealand, Mark, with Framingham, but as well as in Chile, in Argentina, in Spain, and of course in the major regions in Portugal as well. Adding to Matthew's rosé, we have a portfolio of other still wines, but also port wine, as Sandeman, as Porto Ferreira, and Porto Offley, three major brands of port wine, and our operation of wine tourism is based in these port wine brands. So today we are focused in three wine tourism units. So one is in the Douro Valley, is Quinta do Seixo. The other two are in the other side of the river, in Gaia, in Porto Ferreira cellars and Sandeman cellars. We also have some partnerships that to complete our wine tourism operation. We have a hostel in Gaia, so in the Sandeman Square, I would say. Also three restaurants that are split by Douro, between Douro and Gaia, and an event spot for 500 people for, I will say, for MICE events. And this is basically in some words what a summary of what is Sogrape and the wine tourism operation. So in our three units we welcome about 250,000 people, visitors every year, and which is already a relevant scale, I would say. So in our operation we have 60 people working, between, well, the management, the staff, the guides, the tour guides, and all the operation that we need to support the wine tourism. And to optimize this structure, we really need to be quick and to be really efficient. So one of our focus today is to optimize our operations, which is quite a challenge, since you have an operation that is scaled to welcome 250,000 people a year. So this is one of our pillars of development, is the optimization of our operations. But on the other hand, we still want to keep the experience humanized for the visitors. So we don't want. I understand, and probably will have space to this kind of solutions as Marianna showed, like the glasses, like the meta glasses. We can have probably space for that, but in general, overall, we want to be recognized as experiences that are humanized. However, we still have space, and I'll show a couple of examples afterwards of complementing experiences that are based in technologies or even AI. Okay, so talking about these two pillars, let me try to move forwards. So regarding the optimization behind the scenes, the optimization of our operations, we have the focus into basic topics. One is the business, and therefore we have to have some solutions concerning revenue management and also traffic builders. So these are two relevant, I would say, solutions that we need to develop or are already developed in order to bring more business and bring more people to visit us. Okay. Also reduce the seasonality, for example, which is our operation is really affected by the period of the year. So we have like a low season and a high season here in the Douro and also in Gaia. So we need to have solutions, to develop solutions to help us in this revenue management. Just to give you an example, this revenue management wasn't done 15 years ago or 20 years ago, because the wine tourism operation was made just to support the brand development. So it was a free entrance. We had free entrances in our facilities, in our assets. So you could visit Sandman for free. Today is different. All the sellers, all the port wine sellers are charging prices and increasing every year, which was a breakthrough in that moment by 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Today, probably we need to address the possibility in terms of revenue management to have dynamic prices, and AI is a relevant assistant to help us on this dynamic pricing, having the demand based on the demands that we have, depending on the season or even the day. Then the traffic builders, and we are really keen to be visible online, whether it is in the website, in the Google search, or in the AI platforms like ChatGPT or Claude or whatever. So we are investing in the SEO, and this is like a regular investment in order to have our website, Wine Tourism of Sogrape website, visible to the people that visits Porto and the Douro. But not only the Google search, but also the AI platforms. So we are also planning to invest in the answer engine optimization that can help us, like Marianna was mentioning in her presentation, that can help us to be present in the suggestions that these AI platforms present. And of course, we need to work with the online travel agencies, and the integration, the automatization of the integration with the online travel agency system is based on of course a lot of effort in tech, in technologies. So we are really into that. And then more in the back office, or related to the back office, we are developing with AI support staff scheduling, smarter staff scheduling that is sparing a lot of time to the management team on the scheduling of our staff, and this is quite a relevant project as well. So these are a couple of examples behind the scenes. Then we are concerning the front office. We have some experiences, as I mentioned, that are based in AI or metaverse or in technology, but always based in the humanization of. So we always have our team ready to support or to assist, even though we have this metaverse experience in Gaia, in our Sandman cellars, that can show Quinta do Seixo. So you can go to Sandman cellars in Gaia. If you don't go to Douro, at least you have an experience available to show, to give an idea of what Douro Valley is and what Quinta do Seixo, our assets, our property in the Douro is. So this is an example on how technologies can help us to give a more interesting and complete experience to the visitor. Concerning the customer journey, and in the beginning, whenever a visitor enters in our website, as long as the website is visible in Google search or even in AI platforms, we are developing with the assistance of a chatbot, AI-based chatbot that we built in Sogrape. This is the Mati. Is like an homage to Matthew's Rosé, as you can see, the icon is like the shape of the bottle of Matthew's Rosé. And today, currently, we are only using this tool internally, but we aim to use it not only to assist the tourist guide, but also to support the beginning of the customer journey and to assist the visitor in order to enhance the experience and to give like suggestions of a more interesting experience depending on the interests of the visitor. Then another topic that is relevant to address is the data management. So we don't want, still concerning the customer journey, we don't want the visitors to leave our assets and vanish. We want to keep in touch with them, and we have some tools that can help us to keep in touch with them. This is an example, Winology. This QR code is still working. You can scan it. Winology is a platform that we created, is a web app that is like a kind of a gaming experience that will answer to the question, which wine am I, and which wine is the wine that is more linked to your personality. And with this gaming experience, we can increase our data, not only the quantity of information about the visitor, but also the quality. And depending on the interests of the brands, we can communicate with them after they leave the experience. So these are some examples of on how are we using the technology, AI, whatever.
Thank you, Paulo. Yeah.
Just the last slide, just to wrap up and saying that the optimization is what we want the guests to feel. So we need to have this back office efficiency, and also we want to keep the experience humanized for the visitors to maintain and to remember meaningful moments and the storytelling that we pass them.
Thank you, Paulo. Excellent examples. Really want to see maybe when we get to the Q&A about how the struggles, the opportunities, and also the ideation behind this. I saw on your slide about not replacing the human, not replacing the authenticities. That's a really interesting thing that is coming up in the Q&A. So let's lead in to our last speaker before we go into discussion. Adela, over to you. You can unmute yourself too.
Again?
That's it. You're on.
Yes. I was talking to myself. Yes. Can you see my screen?
We can. Yeah.
Okay. So again, good morning, everybody. So wine tourism has a paradox. Wineries are getting more visitors than ever, but most of them still lose the relationship of the moment the visit ends. The visitor leaves, the emotional connection fades, and the winery starts all over again from zero each time. And for me, the real opportunity with AI in wine tourism isn't about replacing hospitality again, like Marianna and Paulo just commented. It's about helping wineries create community, personalization, and direct relationships, but at scale. That's the point. Because wine tourism and direct sales shouldn't be two separate things. They are part of the same journey. At Alvar, we work with wineries and wine tourism destinations that today I would like to share with you two practical examples of how we are using AI. Not as futuristic technology, but just as tools that help wineries get more participation and less operation and less admin work, just to get better customer lifetime value. Well, let's go with the first example. The first example is behavioral segmentation with RFM. Most wine clubs in general segment members only by level: gold, silver, premium, VIPs, whatever it is. But here's the thing: two members of the same level can behave completely different. So we use an fan model in recency, F in frequency, M as in monetary value. The system looks at the full purchase behavior of each member across the winery's different sales channels and touch points. And that's important. We are not talking just about the wine, but all touch points. And that lets wineries with a different global point of view. They see who buys often, who's starting to drift away, who has a long-term value, and who's losing interest, and which customers deserve a different kind of communication. So you can tailor-made each communication, each mail to your different customers, to your different profiles. This changes everything about how a winery talks to its audience. Instead of sending the same message to everyone, you can build relationships that are actually relevant. I mean, think about it. It's a customer who spends a lot once and then disappears, may be worth less than someone who buys smaller amounts, but again and again over time. And this is when, I mean, in my opinion, this is where wine tourism becomes really powerful, because wine tourism creates emotional connections, but emotion alone isn't enough. Without community, even the best experiences you've ever lived fade from memory very fast. AI could help wineries keep that relationship alive and after the visit. That's where the real long-term direct sales actually happen now. This was the first example about understanding the relationship. And the second is about removing every obstacle to be in the part of it. One big trend we are seeing right now is that the strongest wine clubs aren't built on wine discounts or shipments, just the wine anymore. The best ones combine benefits from both wine and hospitality. Members earn points and benefits and rewards, not just by buying wine, but from experiences too. So in the experience part, you have the visits, the wine bars, restaurants, events, accommodations, basically like every winery touch points. And that, if you combine that wine and hospitality, that creates much more emotional, continuous relationship with the whole winery ecosystem. But here's the challenge, right? If taking part in the loyalty program gets complicated, your members will disengage and very, very fast. And that's exactly where AI helps. That's why we have built an AI-powered receipt reader. How it works. It's very easy. Like a member just uploads a picture of the receipt. The AI reads the products, the amount, the date, all the purchase information, and it validates it instantly. I mean, honestly, AI and the technology itself, it's not the important part. The important part here is removing friction, like the famous word, right? Because the easier is to participate, the stronger is the relationship. And for the winery, the admin work would be huge. So here, every friction is removed with this ORC. The team doesn't have to manually check receipts, did through spreadsheets, or spend hours on the admin work. AI takes care of repetitive work so the team can focus on what really matters: hospitality, relationships, and experience. And to me, I think that's a really important mindset of the industry. We've been talking about it before. AI shouldn't replace the human side of wine tourism. It should protect it. And it should take care of the low value work on the table. So, just to close, I think a lot of wineries today are still measuring visitors when they should be measuring relationships. The future of smart wine tourism isn't about adding more technology. It's about using technology better to build stronger relationships, better personalization, less admin friction, and more sustainable direct sales. Because at the end of the day, AI is very powerful, but only, if it helps winery become more human, not less.
Thank you, Adela. Beautiful again, and lots of thinking points there, lots of talking points. I just want to ask you, Adela, what are the most common revenue leaks in winery tourism, you think, or in the wine business? You know, where does the money flow out without actually gaining anything?
As you can see, I am very, very focused on data. Data is like my main menu. And the thing is that usually for many wineries, data is scattered all over the different, spreadsheets, in your CRMs, your ERPs, like all those letters, all those things. And AI can't make any sense of scattered data. So you make bad decisions very fast with scattered data. So it would be a very good use of your resources, even if they are not very big resources, to try to make sense of all that data and try to have it all together in order to use AI once you have organized all that data.
Okay, great. And in terms of that scattered approach, what are the top two data sets that a winery or wine tourism business should really focus on beyond just sales? You know, sales can be transacted, but what are the other two that people and businesses need to be sort of conscious of and focusing down on?
Everything that has to be with long-term relationships. That's the point. We are so focused on numbers of counting visitors, and we should be very, very aware of the relationships we are building. I mean, that's the point, right? Because if it's not just sales, of course we are talking about selling wine and selling tickets and all that thing, but it takes quite a lot of effort to bring people to your winery. You've done the difficult part. They have an amazing time with you in the winery. What happens after that? We are losing like lots of money on the table because we are not taking care of the relationship, the wonderful experience they have. So what are we gonna do after they leave our winery? That's the point, the long term.
Yeah, very good. And that's what wine business is about. We don't just want someone to arrive, experience, and leave. We want them to come back, bring friends, share with friends, come back again, organize an event, organize something special, organize or plan something more specific, right? It's a relationship. So that's a really good insight. Thank you. Marianna, I just wanted to come back to you because in the Q&A, actually, it's a very similar question to what I was going to ask. This is great. This is great. Anthony from Wine Pleasures asks for both of you, if he could use an AI tool such as Gemini and ask it to write an article highlighting the food and wine attractions in Cambril in Spain, and then published that article on my website. Doesn't Google penalize AI-generated content? So is this coming back to this authenticity, and in terms of automation versus the human connection? What do you think, both of you? Maybe Marianna first on that one.
I'm not sure if I understood the question. If Google penalizes what? User-generated
Automation,
content from what?
AI-generated content. So are you seeing that, or is there a workaround?
I wouldn't
And
say so. I mean, when I go to
Okay.
tools like Copilot and ChatGPT, and even, nowadays the booking engines like Expedia and Booking.com, they have AI assistants to help you with, generating personalized itineraries. When I use these tools, and of course I use conversational language, I don't put keywords, Hotel Paris or winery McLaren. I use a conversational language like, I like this kind of wines. I want a winery to relax with a beautiful landscape and I don't know, whatever I might write. The results that I get, and all these AI tools, they give you the references and the links. Many of the information they retrieve, they do come from social media sites, meaning user-generated content, influencers, TripAdvisor comments, events, anything.
Okay.
And most of the times, probably not from websites of wineries, which means to me that the websites of wineries, they're not AI ready. You will need to, as you can imagine, rewrite it in a language that the AI uses, the keywords that I use in the AI. You will need to be present in all the other websites that they are sourcing information, meaning that you will need to motivate people to write content about you in other websites as well. And of course, like SEO, being AI ready, it means you need to monitor the process all the time. It's not a standard rule. You do it like this now and it continues like this. Yeah.
Yep.
AI is evolving,
Okay.
content is evolving.
Yep. And obviously there's not just SEO, but AEO, right? Now that's what you're saying about being AI ready, is that the website can actually index and share that information efficiently for people to find and locate.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Even your even your pictures or video, because AI now reads video and pictures, use of metadata
Exactly.
and curation and scripts and everything matters,
Thank you. Adela, so if you just wanted to add to that, do you find certain points or hurdles in regards to how generalist AI platforms are working and how you can work with them rather than sort of be mitigated by their limitations or their checks and balances?
There's a magic word for AI to produce content, and that's context. Context. If you ask AI, just sell this wine, this is the name of the wine, this is the name of the vintage. I mean, it's not gonna. This is like a boomerang. If you send like a bad question, it's gonna give you back a really plain and specific,
Basic.
very
Yeah.
basic. When I mean giving the context, it's not just uploading your website texts and your tasting notes. No, I mean real context. What's your tone of voice? What are your values?
Great.
What's your why? That's like the real, your brand context. And all, as much as, I mean, AI, it's like really lots and lots of information. So don't be shy. Put that work.
Yes. Don't
Put
hold
that
back.
work.
Make it work.
Don't hold back. Make it work. Like really be very specific with all those, with all that real information that makes you the real you.
Yes,
If you
exactly.
if you give it a context and you give a good question, it gives back a really good answer.
Thank you.
Context.
Fantastic. Paulo, in the Q&A, Bernard, he asked the question, do you leverage the architecture of your wineries, so the cellar, the different types of spaces as an attractive asset as part of the experience? And how do you incorporate that into the AI experience? Like for Mati or for winology? Is there a connection with the space as well as the wines and the tastes?
Yeah, now very good question. So of course we leverage our assets mainly because the experience is based in wine. So when we are in the port wine cellars or in the Douro Valley property, Quinta do Seixo, we do the tour based on example Quinta do Seixo, based on the winery, on the winemaking technology that we have and winemaking techniques that our winemaking team have. So we always use the lagares, the big vats, the aging barrels, in order to tell the story. Is part of the storytelling. I would say this is a very authentic experience. So we use more the AI or the technology in the beginning of the customer journey in order to attract visitors, but then the experience is really authentic and humanized. So yes, the answer is we leverage the assets, the architecture, everything that we have in the whether it is in the winery or in the cellars. But the experience is really authentic, not that based in technology.
Okay, so the technology is opening the door, makes it more like the hook, right? It's drawing the guests in, but then it gives you place, space, and authenticity. So it's never about replacing it, perhaps.
Right.
Yeah. Marianna, we have another question. Rachel, she asks, I think this is more for you, but maybe I'll open up to all, but I think because you mentioned it in your presentation, have you had any experience of using the meta glasses to communicate with guests in a language that is not spoken by the operator? So, for instance, they're in a domain or a winery where the guests are speaking Chinese or Mandarin, and then the operator, of course, is not. That's not their native language. Has that worked very well? Do you know of that working as an example?
I think it does work very well. I haven't used meta glasses, but when I travel to China, I use an AI whereby I talk to it in English. It translates this in Chinese. The Chinese receptionist, whatever staff listens to it, they reply to it, and the AI brings me back an English version. So yes, the translation AI applications, they're very sophisticated now. Meta glasses, they have a translation function as well. I have seen a video. If you Google it, you can watch it as well, whereby two people, they wear the glasses and the one is talking his language and the other person his own languages, and they communicate through the glasses. So yes, it does work.
Okay, great. Thank you. Vladimir asked a question. I'm going to open this up to all three of you because I think you might be able to add something to this. What unique advantages can small companies or wineries, family-run wineries, for example, offer in wine tourism, communicating with their tourists, with their audiences, just as a way in, as an entry point, without obviously going into $100,000 spend, not the next winology, but maybe what can they do to enter that to make an impact in the context of their size of their market?
I can jump in, and my answer is linked to my previous answer. So what these small wineries can do to provide a unique experience is really authenticity. Is to find the pillars of the history of the winery and try to tell the story the right way. and not that much based on any technology, but based on what is a storytelling, the best storytelling that someone that visits you wants to hear and to learn. So basically, I would say that authenticity.
Okay. Adela.
From my point of view, technology and small wineries are best friends, should be best friends. Why? Exactly because they are small. They didn't have the resources of my jealousy to Paulo for having 50 people. Jealousy or not, I don't know. I don't know. It has a dark side, of course, but for small wineries, technology is your best friend. Imagine that, for instance, if you don't have that many people attending on the weekends, if you have something like phone app to answer the phone in the full bus of to the morning, that might help. Of course, your online booking systems, of course, because you don't have that many people attending emails and calls. Of course, after the visit, which for me is the real next conversation we should be having on wine tourism, what happens after the visit? If you have basic software to collect your emails and keep in touch and personalize those emails, that's huge for a small winery, because for small wineries, DTC should be your main sales channel. So technology should be your best friend.
Okay. And Marianna, would you want to add briefly to that too?
I don't want to repeat myself. Yes, when you're a small winery, you are more or less one-man show. Maybe not one man, maybe two men or two women. I don't want to be
Exactly.
sexist. But anyway, the point is that you work from serving customers to writing emails to answering phones. If you can save even 5 minutes from every single task, yeah, to correct an email, the language, to write, put some keywords and ask AI to write you a social media post. Every 6 seconds that you save, you can invest it back to the customer to be a human being and a personalized experience. And I think that's
Great.
for small wineries is very important.
Thank you. It's lovely that you say that, be more time, have more time to be human. That is perfect.
Yes.
Stanley and Juan have actually asked a question here, which leads into a question that I'm going to ask about saying AI-generated images have a tendency to look the same or get flagged for being the same or looking very similar. So again, I put to you, maybe Marianna first with this one, but again, to all of you, how do we manage or how do we utilize the technology to make sure that communication about the winery or the tourism business doesn't sound the same? To sort of have this vanilla sort of generic element to it. How do you personalize, or how do you make sure that the human side of your domain is still at the core part of that communication while still automating it?
Well, that's why you don't delegate things to technology. The final word is with the human. You read the email, you correct it, you put your personal human touch to it. You see the picture, you go back and you correct it. So it's not just automating, it's using the technology, as I said before, to make you more efficient and effective. Save time, get inspired, augment your creativity, but the final thing is with the humans. And whether it looks like user-generated content or not, well, studies show people cannot easily distinguish it anymore, first of all. And even if they distinguish it, it doesn't matter. Research shows that even if you know and you have to disclose it that it's AI, it doesn't affect purchasing behavior or any other response. People have got used to it, so does it matter?
Thank you.
That's my question.
Paulo, what do you think on that one, just in regards to communication, right? Not just what it is, but the why, and making sure it doesn't have this gloss of AI over it.
Yeah, I tend to agree with the topic. So I tend to agree that the AI generated images are usually quite artificial. So
At the
that's
moment.
why. So
Not with fake AI.
Yes.
we internally what we do is when we tend to use this kind of images, AI generated images, to not relevant communication materials. So to like a presentation or a PowerPoint presentation, something like that. Not to like a video that is promoting Sandeman, for example, is not currently is not made by AI. We already tested something and we used to internal presentations, but not for to open to the public. So what we do is we keep working with agencies, communication agencies, advertising agencies that develop our material communication materials.
Thank you. Adela, just briefly what you think as well, that in terms of your tools that you know and you utilize with your clients.
Of course, as Paulo was commenting, it depends on the objective of the image. It's not the same that hero shot to present to present your very best wine. It's not the same as an internal presentation. Of course, it depends. The real pain at the moment is the labels and the bottles. Because I mean AI doesn't reproduce, it recreates. That's the point. It doesn't, even if you say use this bottle, don't invent anything, it can't. It recreates. It doesn't copy. So if you want to mix it now, I recommend a blending between AI produced for that kind of images. It's not that important. Use AI for the main part, and then Photoshop is your best friend. That's it. Fix it as
That's
much as the best you can. But I know it's not the answer anybody wants to hear, but that's reality for now. Just give it a
Okay.
moment. Give it a moment. It will fix
It will
itself,
happen.
but
Yes.
it will happen. Not now, not soon enough, but yeah, it will happen.
Okay.
Now it's Photoshop
Yep.
time.
Fantastic. Before we wrap up, we're going to do a quick fire round where I'm just going to ask you for one answer to my question. This is based on some of the questions we've had here. So starting with you, Paulo, very briefly, if a winery or a wine tourism business had $10,000 right now, what would they spend on it in terms of AI and technology, smart wine tourism? Go.
I will go to SEO. I will go to
Okay.
SEO and put
SEO.
my money on SEO to be visible in order to attract visitors.
Okay, Marianna.
I will give it for staff training on AI.
Fantastic. Good, fantastic. Lovely. Always got to share the love. Adela. Oh, unmute yourself, my love.
Sorry. Not a surprise. I would invest in something to keep in touch with your customers, keep in touch with them.
Okay, so making a more concerted effort to retain loyalty or to build loyalty.
Personalize those communications, keep in touch with them, keep selling, keep you in their life.
Okay, fantastic. And last question. In the next 6 months, what a winery can implement to make their work more efficient and more successful using technology. In the next 6 months, we're not talking midterm, long term, short term. Adela, go with you.
Counting how many visitors do we have? Start counting how many relationships do we have? Booking, spending, club members, reviews. They all grow when the relationship is strong. The
Lovely.
success is simple.
Yes.
Yeah.
You love relationships, Adela. This is perfect.
Yeah.
So let's go.
That's
Paulo.
what
Yeah.
wine is for, in my
Okay,
opinion.
exactly. Paulo, to you.
Well,
6
this is
months.
my answer has to do with our particular case of
Yes.
a big team of 60 people. So the staff scheduling is something that can come up and to help us to have more time to manage other things, mainly regarding revenue than administrative things.
Okay. And Marianna, finally, 6 months. What can a wine tourism business or winery do? Bang.
Bank. I think better understanding of your customer, because many stereotypes that we have or we think that the wine tourist wants, I think they're not applicable anymore. The tourist or the visitor has changed in terms of what they like, what they drink, why they drink, or how they find what they drink. So understanding who is in front of you, I think it's very important.
Okay. So putting some good, concerted, focused research time to find out about your client. And then, of course, how you can prioritize and maximize that opportunity using technology and when you've got that 10,000 to spend on staff training.
Something like that.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for being here. It's been amazing, of course, and a big appreciation to our panelists today, of course. As you know, Great Wine Capitals is about building and supporting wine tourism, wine businesses, and experiences across the world in our very important cities. And speaking of the next city, so our annual AGM will be happening in October, actually from the 18th to the 22nd in Hawke's Bay in New Zealand. Wow, represent. So there'll be a week of conferences, specialist talks, visits, everything like that in the beautiful South Pacific. So please put that in your diary. Of course, there'll be more webinars coming up over this year, after the summer. We've got some more plans, but please share your topics or share your interest in certain conversations that you'd like to know more about, or even present some reasons why you can be part of our next conversation. Thank you so much. You would have seen an opinion or a survey pop up on your screen. Please let us know how we did, and also more of what we want to do, share, and of course, develop and collaborate together in wine tourism. Because as we've heard today, humans are important, still very important. Loyalty is also something we need to do. And your why, your story, is obviously the thing that pulls it all together. Thank you so much. Have a great evening or have a great day where you are. Thank you again and see you soon.